Good morning. God bless you. Good morning. God bless you. Good morning. God bless you.
Welcome to prayer camp. Well, just a few things I've been thinking about. I've noticed that there's a debate at the moment if the Catholic schools should continue in the United Kingdom or at least in Scotland. I think all over the United Kingdom. And so it does cause division. You know, there's always this aspect that the Protestant schools used to be turn out the best educated people. More recently, there's probably a good argument that Catholic schools are doing a better job. Therefore, you know, a lot of Catholics anyway have pride that they're more clever. We used to have Catholic teachers in our Protestant school, and they used to actually treat, you know, if they knew someone was a Rangers fan, had a season ticket to Ibrox, they'd actually treat them like absolute idiots. And I saw one of them at least in tears one time because the teacher was just disrespecting him and calling him just stupid so much. After over a year or 2 years, he just cried. He just burst out the class and was in tears. He couldn't take it anymore. So it's not like you know, the corporal punishment in schools in the United Kingdom stopped in about the late 70s, I think it was. But the mental torture that Satan has introduced, you could say, or the government, is just equal to Satan really in the United Kingdom. It's probably far worse because it leaves a lasting, ingrained pain in a student's life, whereas the corporal punishment just lasts maybe a couple of minutes. You get a sting in your hand, your backside, or wherever it is that the cane goes. They still have it in Africa, by the way. They still tell you to use the cane you know, if a student is not reaching the standards that they should reach. But the psychological torture in especially Protestant schools, I would say, I saw it myself. Me personally, I was actually targeted by we call it housemasters. So there's like an overall headmaster, and then there's 4 different houses and there's housemasters. My housemaster targeted me the first day I walked in to the secondary school. He made me stay back about an hour or 2 hours because I was just messing around with a classmate. You know, as you do as your primary school children, you have a laugh, you just mess around and have a laugh. And this thing was like this thing wasn't, we weren't sat in a class, we were just being shown round, you know, we're just being shown around classrooms and, you know, all that stuff. But just for a few seconds, we're just messing around, having a laugh, and I got told to stay back for at least an hour, I think it was, alone, myself. I had to sit on a chair outside his office. And then he came out after an hour and said, I hope that, you know, this has been a lesson to you. And that guy basically made my entire life hell at that school. I remember, I think it was 3rd or 4th year, I did a tech drawing class. And the guy used to come in for 5 minutes and talk. You could tell he just wanted to leave. And then he'd say, is there any questions? And before you could even think of any questions, the guy would just leave. He'd walk out the door. And so, on occasion, he would come in and check on the students. That was the style he was. He's an absolute ignorant son of a bitch, to be honest with you. To call himself a teacher is unbelievable. His name was Mr. Baird. He's probably well retired. He's probably dead now. So, this guy came in, and I was asking the guy next to me just exactly what we're meant to be doing again, because I wasn't exactly 100% sure. And he just came in and said, you, out the class. Out the class. That's all he said, out the class. He didn't give me a written warning. He didn't give me a verbal warning. You're meant to give something like a verbal warning and 1 written warning or 2 written warnings, or something like that. 2 verbal and 1 written, something like that. The guy literally just told me to get out of his class. Another time, I think we were being interviewed about how we were doing, how we thought we were doing in school, you know. So one of the times, so they'd ask you questions like, what's your favourite subject? Who are your friends? Who's your best friend? Are you enjoying the school? You know, these type of like really foolish questions that a lot of students would like just answer anything just to get out of that situation. And that guy, and sometimes you'd be in there for a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, everything's fine. Okay, what about this? Have you got problems here? All right, we'll look into that. You know, when I went in, he kept me in again for like half an hour. I think he wanted to give me a punishment for, I can't even remember what it was. And I remember one of the other housemasters, or the assistant headmaster, was sitting on the other desk. And he looked up at him, and he just went like this. Like, stop. He just shook his head. He's almost like saying, like, don't go any further, because what you're doing to this guy is... Why are you doing this exactly? You know, you could just see, he was looking at him like, why are you doing this to this guy? So, that's the situation. That was the story of my Protestant school. And by the way, the art teacher absolutely hated my guts. He did. He absolutely hated my guts. He asked us one day to paint something, what's the word again? When something's like reflecting in a mirror. I can't remember the word. And most people, they like drew faces, you know, because one side of the face should look like the other side. I drew a flag, and he hated me for that. From that day on, he absolutely hated my guts. He gave me like D's. He never passed me in anything. So there you go. Well, you know, whereas the school I was at before, the primary school, you know, I was the guy that was winning all the art competitions, and like me and this guy Greg used to be the sort of artists. You know, anything that needed painted or drawn or something, we would do it. You know, secondary school, it was just like Satan was just there, really disrupting my educational life, and I don't really know the reason why this day, unless obviously the man was a Mason, and he was obviously told by Satan just to target me like that. And I've looked into it, and these things absolutely do happen. Now, what about the Catholic schools being closed down? Probably they have even a higher standard of education these days, which again produces a little bit of pride. I had a few Catholic friends after I left the Protestant school, as you can imagine, you know, after being targeted so much. Even had a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend, for 2 or 3 years. She was about 2 years younger than me, and I asked, guess what? You know, I asked this idiot guy if I could bring her to the prom, you know, when I left school, and guess what that answer was? You know. So anyhow, she ended up marrying another guy from my class. After I went off and I got work down south, I was there for 6 months. I came back when I was about 17 or 18. I think I was about 18 years old. And I discovered that my friend had told her, this is a Catholic friend I had, the Catholic friend told her that I had another woman down in England and I was going to stay down there. And so he made a move to see her, which I found out later on exactly what happened. He obviously didn't tell me what happened. It took about 3 years for someone to actually tell me what happened. I didn't know what happened. And then she ended up marrying one of my other classmates from my tech class, I think it was, tech drawing class. So my craft and design class, I did well. I had a really good teacher there, Mr. Blaine. He's an absolute star. That guy's going to heaven, absolutely no doubt. But anyhow, so that's what I started doing. When I left school, I was in joinery. I was doing joinery because that's about the only qualification I had when I left school. And then I got my English, I got maths, I got art, I got, you know, a lot of hires. And then from there, I applied to be a warfare officer. And at that point, the Lord had been talking to me already. I had been born again, and prophesied about September the 11th, which the Lord showed me the exact date. So that was back in 2000. So that's sort of the start of my educational life and the start of my working life. And God has been right through it, protecting me. God has been right through it, blessing me in the face of what Satan has been doing. So let's hope we can get on and to Photo Helix program quite soon, hopefully, and we can have a chat. We can talk about all the subjects that are on the internet right now, all the sort of hot topics. I want to try and avoid flat Earth, obviously, but if we have to talk about it, we have to talk about it, you know. So this is the whole thing. I mean, which education system is better, the Protestant one or the Catholic one? So me, I would just say to the Catholics, is it very bright to kneel before an idol and dedicate yourself and bless an idol? Is that bright? Is that clever? You know, and the Catholics at the same time will say, well, going to that Protestant school, you know, it's full of Masons. You're absolutely right. You know, both sides are absolutely right, and both sides are absolutely suffering. And until there's a reformation again in the UK, we get back to the Bible, then it's just always going to be this conflict. There's always going to be this basically, it's okay having rivalry, but you know, it's a rivalry that's stirred up by Satan. It's not really worth the salt that it's in, because both sides are suffering through satanic infiltration and manipulation. So that's my opinion about the United Kingdom educational system. May the Lord bless you.